Aunty Ngozi, I'm begging you in the name of God. Please, just let me be happy. Just this
Happy?
once.
You want to be happy? After everything I sacrificed for you, over my dead body, will you marry that boy?
Imagine spending 15 years raising your late sister's child, clothing her, feeding her, sending her to university, only to turn around and try to destroy her wedding because the groom didn't greet you properly. Welcome to the story of Aunty Ngozi and Chiamaka, a story of jealousy, wickedness, juju, and the sweetest revenge Lagos has ever seen. But I'm warning you now, this story go pain you, it go shock you, and by the end, you go stand up and clap. So make yourself comfortable, because this one long and a sweet die.
Chiamaka was 8 years old when her mother died. Cancer, the aggressive kind that doesn't give you time to say proper goodbye. Her father had passed 2 years earlier in a motorcycle accident on Ore Benin Road. So when Mama Chiamaka was lowered into the red earth of their village in Enugu, little Chiamaka became an orphan. That was when Aunty Ngozi stepped in. "Don't worry, my sister," Aunty Ngozi wept dramatically at the burial, her wrapper tied tight like she was ready for battle. "I will take care of Chiamaka like my own daughter. She will not suffer, I swear on my mother's grave." The relatives nodded approvingly. Aunty Ngozi was doing a good thing, a godly thing. But nobody asked Aunty Ngozi's real children how they felt about it. Because you see, Aunty Ngozi had 3 children of her own, 2 boys and 1 girl. The girl, Adaze, was the same age as Chiamaka. And from the very first day Chiamaka entered their 3-bedroom flat in Surulere, Adaze hated her. Not because Chiamaka did anything wrong, but because Chiamaka was beautiful. Even as a grieving child with swollen eyes and braided hair coming loose, Chiamaka had that thing, that effortless beauty that made people turn and look twice. Big, bright eyes like polished stones, smooth skin the color of shea butter, a quiet grace that made adults say, "Ah, this one go break hearts when she grows up." Adaze, on the other hand, let's just say she took after her father, and her father looked like he was in a permanent fight with his own face. I'm not saying Adaze was ugly, I'm just saying if beauty was a house, Adaze was standing outside holding the gate. And Aunty Ngozi saw it. She saw how people cooed over Chiamaka, how even in her mourning clothes, her niece got compliments, how the neighbors would say, Ngozi, this your niece fine, oh. She resembled Genevieve Sef. And what would they say about Adaze? "Oh, she's a good girl, very hardworking." Hardworking, that's what you call a child when you can't call her pretty. The jealousy started small. When church members brought gifts for the poor orphan, Aunty Ngozi would smile and collect them, then give them to Adaze. "Chiamaka, you are mourning. You don't need new clothes yet. Let your cousin wear this one first." When relatives sent money for Chiamaka's upkeep, Aunty Ngozi would divert it. "I'll keep it safe for you, my dear. When you're older, I'll give it back." She never gave it back. By the time Chiamaka was 12, she was doing all the housework, sweeping, cooking, washing. Adaze would be watching TV while Chiamaka was scrubbing the bathroom. If Chiamaka complained, Aunty Ngombi would slap her across the face. "Useless girl, is it not ordinary housework? You think because you are fine you cannot work? You want to be forming Lagos babe, Abi? I will deal with you in this house." But here's the thing about Chiamaka. She was stubborn. Not in a loud way, but in the way she refused to break. She studied hard. She came first in her class every term. When Adaze failed WAEC twice, Chiamaka passed with 8 A's. When Chiamaka got admission to study law at University of Lagos, Adaze was still struggling through a secretarial course at Yaba Tech. And that was when the real hatred started, because Aunty Ngozi realized something terrible. No matter what she did, Chiamaka was going to shine, and Adaze was going to remain Adaze. The breaking point came in Chiamaka's final year. That was when she met Dube. Dubem was everything. Tall, handsome, a fresh graduate from Covenant University, working at his father's oil and gas company in Lekki. He drove a white Range Rover Sport. He smelled like money and good home training. He saw Chiamaka at a friend's birthday party in Victoria Island, and that was it. "That's my wife," he told his friend that same night. "I am marrying that girl." And he pursued her like a man on a mission. He sent flowers, he paid her school fees when Aunty Ngozi forgot to send money. He met her at the gate every evening with food because he noticed she was losing weight. 6 months later, he knelt down at Oriental Hotel and proposed with a ring that cost more than Aunty Ngozi's annual salary. Chiamaka said yes. And that was when Aunty Ngozi declared war. "You think you are better than my daughter, Abi? You, orphan that I raised from nothing, you want to marry big man while my Adaze is still single? I will show you pepper in this life." Chiamaka thought Aunty Ngozi was just being dramatic. She thought the woman would calm down eventually. She didn't know that Aunty Ngozi had already gone to a babalawo in Badagry, and the babalawo had given her something dark, something that was supposed to make sure Chiamaka never made it to that altar. Now, let me tell you something about Nigerian juju. When somebody hates you reach the level where they are willing to travel 3 hours in Lagos traffic, enter Moluwe, comot for Badagry Beach Road, waka enter bush, just to see native doctor. My brother, my sister, that person wants you dead. Not just regular dead, spiritual dead. The babalawo was an old man with tribal marks like railway lines across his face. He sat on a low stool in a room that smelled like burning feathers and something else, something that made your stomach turn. "So, you say the girl don't take your shine, Abi?" the babalawo asked, pouring gin on the ground for the spirits. "You want make the marriage scatter?" "Baba, I want more than scatter," Aunty Ngozi whispered, leaning forward. "I want her to suffer. I want that boy to see her true color and run. I want her to beg me on her knees." The babalawo smiled. His teeth were the color of rust. "Bring me her photograph, her underwear, and something she has eaten with her mouth. Then bring me 150,000 naira. I go do work wey go make her mad before the wedding day. The boy go see her behavior and cancel everything." Aunty Ngozi smiled for the first time in weeks. Money? She had been saving Chiamaka's relatives' contributions for 15 years. She had over 2 million naira stashed away that was supposed to be for Chiamaka's future. She would use it to destroy that future. 3 days later, Chiamaka started feeling strange. It began with the dreams. Every night, she would see herself at the wedding venue, wearing her white dress. But when she looked down, the dress would turn to rags. Black, dirty rags crawling with millipedes. And Dubem would be standing at the altar laughing at her, pointing, his face twisted with disgust. She would wake up screaming, her body soaked in sweat. "Baby, what's wrong?" Dubem would ask over the phone, worried. "You've had nightmares every night this week." "I'm fine," Chiamaka would lie, "just wedding jitters." But it wasn't jitters. Then came the physical symptoms. Her face started breaking out in painful boils, not small pimples though, big, angry boils that licked yellow pus and left dark marks. Her flawless skin, the one everyone praised, was suddenly destroyed in 2 weeks. She went to the dermatologist at Reddington Hospital. They ran tests. Everything came back normal. "It's probably stress," the doctor said, prescribing expensive creams that did nothing. Then her hair started falling out in clumps, fake, beautiful hair that she had grown for years, just coming off in her hands when she showered. Then came the mood swings. Chiamaka would be laughing 1 minute, then screaming at Dubem the next minute for no reason. She threw a plate at him once during a simple disagreement about the wedding cake flavor. "Dubem, what is wrong with you?" Dubem shouted, dodging the plate as it shattered against the wall. "This is not you. You are acting like a mad woman." "I don't know," she sobbed, collapsing on the floor. "I don't know what is happening to me. I can't control it." Dubem's mother started calling. "Dubem, are you sure about this girl? I'm hearing things. People are saying she's been acting strange. What if she's not well? What if there's something spiritual?" "Mommy, please. Chiamaka is under stress. The wedding is in 6 weeks. She's just overwhelmed." But even Dubem was starting to have doubts, especially after the incident at the bridal boutique. They had gone to pick up Chiamaka's wedding dress, a gorgeous white ball gown with crystal beading that cost 1.2 million naira. When Chiamaka tried it on and looked in the mirror, something snapped. She started screaming, not normal screaming, the kind of screaming that makes your blood freeze. Get it off me, it's burning my skin." She tore at the dress, ripping the delicate fabric, pulling at the beads until her fingers bled. The boutique staff had to hold her down while Dubem called a taxi to take her home. The wedding dress was ruined. Chiamaka couldn't explain what happened. "I saw something in the mirror," she whispered later, her eyes red and swollen. "Something dark standing behind me." That was when Dubem's family called for an emergency meeting. Dubem's father was a deacon at Winners Chapel. His mother was a prayer warrior who didn't play with spiritual things. They sat Chiamaka down in their Ikoyi living room, and Dubem's mother asked the question everyone was thinking. "Chiamaka, is there anyone who doesn't want this marriage to happen? Anyone who is jealous of you? Anyone who might have gone to do something bad?" "No, ma, nobody. Everyone is happy for us." But even as she said it, something flickered in her mind. Aunty Ngozi. Aunty Ngozi, who stopped talking to her after the engagement. Aunty Ngozi, who told relatives that Chiamaka was ungrateful and forgot where she came from. Aunty Ngozi, who said at a family meeting that this marriage will not hold, mark my words. Aunty Ngozi, who asked for a piece of Chiamaka's old underwear 2 months ago, claiming she wanted to use it as a rag to clean. Oh God, that night, Chiamaka called her childhood friend, Zainab. Zainab was Hausa, born and raised in Kano, but she had lived in Lagos long enough to know how these things work. "Chama," Zainab said quietly over the phone, using Chiamaka's mother's name like she always did when things were serious. "You need to go see someone, not a doctor. You need to see an alpha or a pastor who understands these things. Because what you are describing, that is not ordinary sickness. You think someone did juju on me? I don't think, I know. And if you don't handle it now, you will lose that man, and that's exactly what the person wants." The wedding was 4 weeks away. Chiamaka's face looked like a war zone. Her hair was covered with wigs because she was almost bald. She had lost 15 kilograms. She looked like a shadow of herself. And Dubem was still there, but she could see the doubt in his eyes. She was losing him. That was when Chiamaka decided enough was enough. If Aunty Ngozi wanted to play dirty, then Chiamaka would show her that even orphans know how to fight. She made a phone call to someone she hadn't spoken to in 10 years. Her father's elder brother, Uncle Emeka. Uncle Emeka, who was a retired colonel in the Nigerian army. Uncle Emeka, who had money, real money, old money, land and property across the east. And Uncle Emeka, who knew exactly how to deal with people like Aunty Ngozi. "Chiamaka," his voice cracked with emotion when he answered. "Is that really you, my brother's daughter? Where have you been? I have been searching for you." "Uncle, I need help. Tell me everything, and I mean everything." So Chiamaka told him. She told him about the 15 years with Aunty Ngozi, the abuse, the money that was stolen, the recent sickness, the wedding that was falling apart. There was a long silence on the phone. Then Uncle Emeka spoke, and his voice was as ice as ice. "Give me 1 week, just 1 week. Don't cancel that wedding. Don't do anything. I will handle this. And when a retired army colonel who survived the Civil War tells you he will handle something, you better believe say person go collect. But what Chiamaka didn't know was that Uncle Emeka wasn't just going to confront Aunty Ngozi. He was going to investigate her. And what he was about to uncover would shock the entire family to their bones.
Okay, so Uncle Emeka don't collect the full gist. And if you know anything about retired military men, you know say they don't just move with emotion. They move with strategy, with intelligence, with precision. Uncle Emeka didn't just believe Chiamaka's story and vex. No, he did what he was trained to do: investigate. First, he called his contacts. And when you are a retired colonel who served under 3 different heads of state, your contacts are not small contacts. We're talking commissioners of police, DSS operatives, even people in EFCC. Within 48 hours, Uncle Emeka had Aunty Ngozi's full file. Bank statements showing deposits from Chiamaka's relatives over 15 years, totaling 2.4 million naira. Money that was supposed to be saved for Chiamaka's education and future. Property documents showing that Aunty Ngozi had used some of that money to buy 2 plots of land in Aja in her daughter Adaze's name. WhatsApp messages between Aunty Ngozi and her friend where she was literally bragging, "That girl thinks say she fine past my daughter. I go show her say beauty no be everything. By the time I finish with her, that lucky boy go run." But the most damning evidence? Uncle Emeka hired a private investigator who followed Aunty Ngozi for 1 week. And guess where the investigator followed her to? Badagry, to the same babalawo. The investigator posed as a customer and secretly recorded everything. He recorded Aunty Ngozi paying an additional 50,000 naira for final stage of the juju. Make sure say you put this powder for her food 3 days before the wedding, the babalawo instructed, handing Aunty Ngozi a small black pouch. By the wedding day, she go start to behave like mad person for altar. The marriage go scatter and the shame go follow her for life. Cold, calculated. The investigator recorded everything, video, audio, clear as daylight. Uncle Emeka watched the footage in his study, his jaw tight. Then he made a phone call. "Get me the Commissioner of Police for Lagos State. Tell him Colonel Emeka Okafo needs a favor." Now, while Uncle Emeka was gathering his ammunition, Chiamaka was fighting her own battle. Zainab had connected her with a powerful pastor in Oregon, Pastor Adeyemi of Mountain of Victory Ministries. The man know they play with deliverance, so if demon here say you they go Pastor Adeyemi's side, the demon go begin pack him load before you even reach. Chiamaka went for deliverance for 3 consecutive nights, fasting, praying, anointing oil, Holy Ghost fire, the whole package. On the 3rd night, during prayer, Chiamaka fell down under the anointing and started screaming, "She is mine. I will destroy her marriage. Her auntie sent me. You liar from the pit of hell, I command you to release her now in Jesus' name." Chiamaka vomited, black, thick liquid that smelled like rotten eggs and death. She vomited until there was nothing left inside her. And then she collapsed. When she woke up 2 hours later, it was like waking up from a terrible nightmare. Her head was clear, the voices were gone, the anger was gone. She looked in the mirror. The boils on her face had started to dry up. They were healing. "Pastor, I can't feel it. It's gone. Whatever it was, it's gone." "My daughter, you are free. But the person who sent this evil, if she is not stopped, she will try again. You need to expose her. Spiritually, you are free, but physically, you need to deal with that woman." Chiamaka nodded. She called Uncle Emeka. "Uncle, I'm ready. Whatever you've planned, I'm ready." "Good, because the wedding is in 5 days, and trust me, Aunty Ngozi will get the surprise of her life." Wedding day. Eko Hotels and Suites, the grand ballroom, everything was white and gold, chandeliers sparkling like stars, roses everywhere, a live band setting up, guests arriving in their finest asoebi, the women's gele tied to the heavens. It was the kind of wedding that would trend on Instagram for weeks.
Chiamaka looked stunning. In just 5 days, her face had cleared up significantly. She wore light makeup to cover the remaining marks. Her wig was laid perfectly. Her dress, a new one, even more beautiful than the first, fit her like it was designed by angels. She was glowing. Dubem cried when he saw her at the bridal suite. "Baby, you're back. My Chiamaka is back. I never left. I was just fighting." But the day wasn't going to be smooth because Aunty Ngozi had arrived. She wore a gold lace that cost 300,000 naira. Her dele was so big, it had its own security personnel. She entered that ballroom like she owned the wedding. But there was something else in her handbag. The black powder from the babalawo. Her plan was simple. During the reception, when Chiamaka wasn't looking, she would sprinkle it in Chiamaka's drink. The babalawo said the effect would be immediate. Chiamaka would start acting crazy in front of 500 guests. Let's see if that her lucky boy will still want her after she disgraces herself today, Aunty Ngozi thought, smiling at guests as she walked to her table. The church ceremony went beautifully. Chiamaka and Dubem exchanged vows, they kissed, the crowd erupted in applause. "I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Okonko." But Aunty Ngozi wasn't clapping. She was watching, waiting for the reception. The reception started at 4 p.m. Guests were eating, drinking, dancing. The MC was cracking jokes. Everything was perfect. Aunty Ngozi saw her moment. She stood up, clutching her handbag, and started walking toward the high table where Chiamaka was sitting with Dubem. Just sprinkle it in her champagne glass when nobody is looking. Quick, simple, done. She was 3 steps away from the high table when Madam Ngozi Okoli. The music stopped. Everyone turned. "My name is Colonel Emeka Okafor, retired, and that bride you were about to poison, she is my niece, my late brother's only child, the child you have been oppressing for 15 years. Ah! Everyone went quiet. Aunty Ngozi's face went pale. I don't know what you are talking about. Officers, search her bag. You can't. This is harassment. Madam, cooperate or we will arrest you for obstruction. One officer opened Aunty Ngozi's handbag. He pulled out the black pouch. Sir, we found this. Uncle Emeka took it, opened it and showed it to the crowd. This is juju powder. She was planning to put this in my niece's drink to make her go mad in front of all of you. Ah! Everybody in the room started screaming. What? Tufiakwa? Jesus! Aunty Ngozi tried to run. The police grabbed her. Let me go. You people don't know what you are doing. Oh, but we do. We also have video evidence of you visiting a babalawo in Badagry. We have your bank statement showing you stole 2.4 million naira that was meant for Chiamaka. We have WhatsApp messages showing your plan, and we have witness statements from relatives you lied to for 15 years. Aunty Ngozi collapsed to her knees crying. Please, please, I was only trying to protect my daughter. By destroying someone else's daughter, an orphan you promised to care for? Chiamaka, please tell them. Tell them I took care of you. I raised you. Chiamaka stood up from the high table. She walked slowly toward Aunty Ngozi. The room was so quiet, you could hear the chandeliers humming. You took care of me? Chiamaka's voice was soft, but it carried across the room. You beat me. You starved me. You made me sleep on the floor while Adeza slept on a bed. You stole money that was meant for me. You told people I was a prostitute when I was just trying to study. And when I finally found happiness, when I finally found someone who loved me, you tried to destroy it with juju. You didn't raise me, Aunty Ngozi. You tormented me. And you did it because I committed the crime of being my mother's daughter, of being beautiful, of being loved. But I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I refuse to let your wickedness poison my joy anymore. Officers, please remove her from my wedding. Chiamaka, Chiamaka, please, I'm sorry. I'm your auntie, please. but Chiamaka had already turned back to her husband. The officers dragged Aunty Ngozi out, her expensive gele falling off, her gold lace dragging on the floor. The ballroom erupted. People were crying, people were clapping, people were praising God. Uncle Emeka walked up to Chiamaka and hugged her tight. Your father would be so proud of you. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you for finding me. The DJ put the music back on. Davido's Fall started playing. Chiamaka and Dubem went to the dance floor and the party continued like nothing happened. Because what is a Nigerian wedding without small drama? Aunty Ngozi was arrested and charged with fraud, theft, and attempted poisoning. The case is still in court, but the evidence is overwhelming. She will likely spend the next 5 to 7 years in Kirikiri prison. Adeza publicly apologized to Chiamaka on Instagram and cut off her mother completely. She said she didn't know the extent of what her mother was doing. Chiamaka forgave her too. Uncle Emeka sued for all the money Aunty Ngozi stole, plus interest. He recovered 3.1 million naira, which he gave to Chiamaka as a wedding gift. Chiamaka and Dubem are still married. 3 years later, they have a beautiful daughter named Chioma after Chiamaka's mother. And me? I'm just here to tell you the story. You see, this life, wickedness no dey pay. You fit delay karma, but you no fit cancel am. Aunty Ngozi thought say because she get connection, she fit destroy innocent person. But she forgot say God dey. And when God say your time don't reach, it go reach whether you like am or not. So, if you are going through wickedness from family, from friends, from people wey suppose protect you, just hold on small. Your own Uncle Emeka dey come. Your deliverance dey come. Your justice dey come. Don't give up.
You see the way this story is sweet? Aunty Ngozi collect her full karma with premium package. But abeg, be honest with me. Have you ever had a wicked auntie or uncle in your life? Abi, na you be the wicked one? Drop your story in the comments, make we read them all. If this story touch your heart, or if it just make you happy, say wicked people they collect, please do me one favor. Smash that like button. Make I see the story sweet you. Subscribe to this channel so you no go miss the next gist, because trust me, I get plenty stories wey go make your jaw drop. Turn on your post notifications, that small bell icon, so that the moment I drop another banger, you go be the first to know. And finally, share this video. Send them to your group chat, your church WhatsApp group, your family group, anywhere. Because this kind of story, everybody needs to hear. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Remember, good things happen to good people. Wicked people, them go collect. Until next time, stay blessed, stay woke, and stay away from wicked aunties. I'm out.